If you've ever had that deep, nagging, just persistent ache right in your glute, you know how maddening it can be. Well, today we're going to get to the bottom of it. We are breaking down Piriformis syndrome, what it is, what really causes it, and most importantly, the right exercises you can start doing today to fix it for good. Okay, let's jump right in.
Yeah, that pain, the one you feel deep in your butt cheek when you've been sitting too long or maybe after a run, that's exactly what we're tackling. If you are just sick and tired of that ache and you want a real solution, not just a temporary fix, then you are in the right place.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out exactly what this thing is. Then we'll get into the real cause, and it might surprise you. After that, I'm going to walk you through 3 specific exercises to get you on the path to recovery. And finally, we'll zoom out and talk about what this means for your health in the long run. Let's get started. All right, first things first, before we can fix it, we have to be sure we know what we're dealing with. So how can you know if that pain you're feeling is actually Piriformis syndrome? Okay, so let's run through the classic symptoms. We're talking about that deep ache, right? Sometimes you might even get pain or some pins and needles going down your leg. Does it get worse after you've been sitting for a while? Or maybe after a bike ride? Is the area super tender if you press on it? And here's the big one. Does it actually hurt more when you try to do that classic figure 4 piriformis stretch? If you're nodding your head to these, then yeah, we're likely on the right track.
Now, this is so important to get right. A lot of people confuse this with general sciatica coming from the low back. But here's the difference. With Piriformis syndrome, the pain is really focused right in the glute. With back-related sciatica, you'll usually have some low back pain too, and it'll get worse when you do things like bend over to put on your socks. Nailing this distinction is absolutely key to getting the right fix.
Okay, get ready because this is the part that might just flip everything you thought you knew on its head. We're about to talk about the real cause and why the most common advice you hear is probably making things worse, not better. We've all heard this story, right? The piriformis muscle gets tight, it clamps down on the sciatic nerve that runs right underneath it, and boom, pain. I mean, it feels tight, so it must be tight. Makes sense.
And if a muscle feels tight, what's the first thing we all do? We stretch it, or we grab a foam roller or a lacrosse ball and try to mash it into submission. It's the logical thing to do. Or is it?
Nope. In fact, that's exactly what you shouldn't do. And that common sense approach can actually be making the whole situation worse. And here it is, the big aha moment. That muscle feels tight because it's actually weak. Think about it. It's overworked, it's fatigued, and it's basically screaming for help by tensing up. So when you go and aggressively stretch it or press on it, you're just squishing that already irritated nerve even more. The real solution isn't to stretch a weak muscle, it's to make it stronger. Okay, so if stretching is out, what's step 1? We need to calm everything down first. So we're going to start with a really gentle exercise that's designed to relax the piriformis before we start asking it to get stronger. Let's walk through this together. You're going to sit on a chair and cross the painful leg over your other knee. Now gently start to pull that knee up towards your opposite shoulder. And here's the magic part. As you pull with your hands, you're going to gently push back with your leg muscles. You're resisting your own movement. Feel that? The muscle has to turn on. Then you relax it back down and repeat. It's not a passive stretch, it's an active relaxation. Now listen up, because this is the most important rule for everything we're about to do. On a pain scale where 0 is no pain and 10 is the worst imaginable, your pain should never go above a 3. Ever. If it starts to creep up, you back off. We are trying to calm the nerve down, not start a war with it. So for this first one, you'll want to do it about 5 times a week. How many reps? Just keep going until you feel a little bit of fatigue or maybe a nice warm feeling in that muscle. And hey, if sitting is just not comfortable for you right now, no problem. You can do the exact same thing lying on your back. All right, we've calmed the area down. Now it's time for the main event, building strength. This is where the long-term fix happens. This is how we give that muscle the support it actually needs. Okay, for our first strength move, lie on your side with your painful side on top. Keep that top leg totally straight and lift it up just a little bit. Now here's the key to the whole thing. Turn your toes to point up at the ceiling. When you do that, you should feel that muscle deep in your glute fire up. That's the piriformis working. Hold it for just a few seconds, relax, and repeat. You'll want to do this about 3 times a week. Again, just go until you feel a light fatigue. Now, a serious safety note here. If you feel any sharp pain or that pins and needles feeling shooting down your leg, you need to stop right away. And if lying on your side is tricky, you can even do this one standing up.
What's really interesting is that the Piriformis does a totally different job when your hip is bent, so we have to strengthen it in this position too. Stand facing a wall so you can use it for balance. Lift your knee up in front of you, kind of like you're marching. Then move that knee out to the side. Now rotate your foot forward and back. Bring the knee back to the center and lower it down. I know it's a lot of steps. Just take it nice and slow and focus on controlling the movement.
You know the drill by now, 3 times a week, just until you feel that gentle fatigue. And I'm gonna say it again, what's our golden rule? Keep that pain below a 3 out of 10. If standing feels like too much work for your hips, a fantastic modification is to do this on your hands and knees. So we've walked through the plan to fix the immediate problem, but I want us to zoom out for a second, because this one little muscle can actually be a sign of a much bigger picture. This quote right here, it really puts things into perspective. After we hit 30, we naturally start to lose muscle strength, unless we are actively working to keep it. A weak piriformis might just be the canary in the coal mine, you know? It's one of the first signs that we need to pay more attention to our overall strength. And that's really the point I want to leave you with. Fixing this isn't just about getting rid of a literal pain in the butt. It's about recognizing a signal from your body. It's an opportunity to start investing in your future self, to make sure you stay strong, mobile, and pain-free for decades to come. Think about it. This one small issue can be the spark for a huge positive change. So, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. Beyond just these specific exercises, what is one small thing you will commit to doing this week to build your overall strength? Thanks so much for joining me.